فيا أيها القاري به متمسكا مجلا له في كل حال مبجلا. بسم الله، الحمد لله، الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to the Tajweed podcast. My name is Khalid Abu Shafi'. In this podcast, I would like to introduce you to the letter of Sad. And by the way, there is a surah in the Quran, which is just after Surah As-Saffat, after Surah Yasin As-Saffat. It's called Surah Sad. So the letter Sad is a very common in the Arabic language. It is one of the letters that is huruf al-itbaq. We will mention in the qualities and the sifat and the attributes of letters inshallah later on. The sad, the ta, dha and dad. So as we said before that the air flows from the chest and the throat and goes straight into the cavity, the oral cavity, and then when it comes into the bottom incisors goes this way, and at the bottom incisors, which is this part here, that hits the air hits that obstacle there of the bottom incisors, then creates that sound of sad. But the sad, as you can see, this part here, which is the middle part, and the back part is a little bit up into the roof of the mouth, which is creating that called, or formatting that isti'la, so, and tafkhim. So the sad is slightly different than sin. And if you bring the teeth together and with a kind of a full mouth, the top teeth and the bottom teeth straight the tongue and saying sa or as. And by the way, that the sin and the sad, both of them have, and the zay as well, have the quality of safir, which is called the whistling. The whistling is the flowing of the air in a hard manner. So as, sad, sad. And also there is no way that we should use the lips. Lips should not be used for forming the sound of the sad at all. In this slide we are going to have a look at the common mistakes when pronouncing the letter sad, especially when it comes close to the letters of another letter which is close to the makhraj as well as close to the attributes, such as al-hams, which is the flowing of the air, one of the attributes that the ta and the sad have the same. So when we read this letter of sad in front of the ta, you will find that the ta is going into tafkhim. It's going to be a full mouth as a sad because the sad drags it, or the opposite. So say wa anta sa. So same as the sad making the ta as tafkhim ta. Instead of saying وَأَن تَصَدَّقُوا ta, تَصَدَّقُوا. The same as for أَفَأَصْفَاكُمْ. Instead of saying أَفَأَصْفَاكُمْ, you would say أَفَأَصْفَا, which is wrong. So it's a common error and common mistakes. Just be careful not to make the fa as mufakham as sad, not to make the fa full mouth and heavy. So you would say afa asfakum, asfa, not asfa, asfa, afa asfa, afa asfakum. The other example, it's in the word harasta. So instead of saying harasta, you would say haras sin, because the ta is mustafal, which is empty mouth and muraqqaq, has a quality of tarqiq, not tafkhim. The sad has the opposite. So when they come close to each other in a word, you'll find that the sad either drags the ta into tafkhim, or the ta drags the sad into tarqiq. So you would say harasta, harasta, and not حرست or حرست sta. That's not seen. It should be صاد. حرست. And also the same example, as you see the ta of the letter of إطباق, it drags also the صاد. So sometimes the people make the ya as well as مفخم. يا يصطرخون يصطرخون طاري يصطرخون. And also the example of يصطفي إن الله اصطفى يصطفي. So these are the examples of common error, and just be careful not to form another letter which is similar to صاد. So which is, for example, instead of saying ta, you would say ta. وأن تصدقوا. Same as the dal. Look at the dal is in between. In this example, is in between the صاد مفخم, قاف مفخم. So the صاد is full mouth, قاف is full mouth. So you would say وأن تصدق ضا. It is not ضا. وأن تصدقوا da. And it is a shadda as well. And the same, not to be careful for the fa, not to make it as the صاد. أفأصفى أفأصفاكم فاكم فاكم. By the way, the fa bring, we're going to see the letters of shafatain, the lips, bring the top incisors into the bottom lip. أفأصفاكم. And the same as حرست, you would say حرست and not حرست or حرست, to making the tarqiq, because you try to make the ta as empty mouth, so you drag the صاد into sin. حرست, which is wrong. So you would say حرست. Same as this example يصطرخون of the ya and the ya in يصطفي. جزاكم الله خيرا for listening. See you in the next episode, in the next podcast of the letter Zay and Sin, inshallah, which is following the letter of Sad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
هنيئا مريئا والداك عليهما ملابس أنوار من التاج والحلى